What's up? This is Derek.
Jamie Madrock.
Man, this your man's Obi Trice.
This is Ad-Lib.
Yo, what up? This is Specs One.
This is Fresh K.
Hot Rock's motherfucking Scrat MC.
Breaking
Records.
Breaking Records Radio out here.
This is Breaking Records Radio.
Check them out, man.
Yo, this is Locksmith representing California. You know, I had to come in and check in with my homies. You know, you're checking out Breaking Records Radio. Yeah.
Let's, if you don't mind, take it back to the battle days.
Yeah, man.
So you started on the grind time?
I mean, I was battling before grind time, but
Oh,
yeah, I've been battling for a while. I want to say like the first notable battle that people know me for was back when MTV, they had their like big MC battle in Times Square.
You won that, didn't you?
I was runner up.
Okay.
Runner up, but yeah, it was like out of like 1,000 contestants, and yeah, it came down to me and just one other person. But that really gave me a lot of recognition, you know, just like in the States, period, you know. But that was like the first known, and I did like other like local stuff, but that was like the first known. That definitely predated the grind time. Grind time stuff didn't probably come till like 5 or 6 years, 5 6 years later.
Yeah. So you're retired now. Is there
I wouldn't say retired. I just been more focused on music. You know what I mean?
Is there any chance he's stepping back in the ring?
I would never say never, but definitely my main focus is, you know, just my musical career. I mean, it takes up so much time. I'm one of those people, man. It's like when I'm focused on something, like that's my focus.
Oh, your focus.
Yeah. Like when I was battling, it was like, you know, when you're, to me, I mean, battling is a part of hip hop. To me,
Sure.
you know what I mean? The way I perceived hip hop, as part as an MC, you know, the way I perceive an artist to be, or the MCs that I always wanted to pattern myself after. They all had to go through the, you know what I mean, through the rigors of battling. So that was like a necessary, you know, rite of passage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so that was, and you know, just to hone your skills and do everything. And I didn't even know it was just a part of rapping. You know?
Well, back then, there was a process to getting on. Like nowadays, anyone posts a video, but back then,
that was how you got your name buzzing in the streets. You know, there was no, you couldn't upload a video. You had to like go to the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people would be like, "Yo, that's that dude. He battled such and such," and that's actually how it happened for me. Until where I actually, you know, got the chance to be like on the big stage, like MTV.
And how did the MTV thing come about?
Through that process, you know, people knew my name battling, and then we had the local radio station in California, you know, at the time in the Bay Area. They were holding Sway, who was a, you know, personality on MTV. You know, I had been on the Wake Up Show and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which is, you know, world famous.
I just seen your last Five Finger.
That was on Sway.
That was
Before he was doing Sirius, he was doing regular radio.
Yeah.
And they had the Wake Up Show.
With King Tech.
Exactly. King Tech, legendary hip hop, like underground hip hop heads know that. So they were holding, you know, Sway being a part of MTV and being part of that underground world was like, yo, we're having this battle. Come, you know. So everybody's like, yo, you gotta go do that. And so I won that battle, and that's what sent me to New York.
Okay.
To, you know, compete in that battle, and then, you know.
Is it a similar situation for how you got linked up with Team Backpack as well?
No, Team Backpack, well, I guess, I mean, similar to some degree, like Team Backpack, for those you don't know, it's like a, you know, really great platform for independent artists. They hold these ciphers, and they also do all kind of other content. But they're based out of, they started in the Bay Area, but they had reached out to me, yo, Lock, we would love for you to be a part of the ciphers, and I was familiar with what they were doing already from seeing it, and then, you know, the time permitted where I could do it. And it's just, I just love everything about their movement, man. Like, shout out Team Backpack. They really care about the culture. You know what I mean? And I know those guys personally, so I feel like as long as they put that first, you know, it'll only grow, and I'll always, you know, get behind them 200%.
The fans definitely got a lot of love for you on the Team Backpack platform, because I was reading the comments of, even when they did the top 20, I think, or the top 10 verses, you came up constantly.
Oh, that's love.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, because I feel like the Team Backpack is not about, you know, who's got this or who's got that or what, you know what I mean? It's about like, yo, do we fuck with you? It's okay to cuss?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do we fuck with you, you know what I mean? Do we fuck with you as an artist? Do we fuck with your skill?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what they put first. So, yeah, I mean, it's great, man. It's a great platform.
Is there any newcomers lately that just shocked the shit out of you?
As far as Team
That stood out
Backpack,
as far as dopeness on the Team Backpack.
on Team Backpack, I mean, there's a lot of dope kids, man. I mean, pretty much. I mean, you know, who I was just seeing my homie Token. You know, he's a young guy. You know, I met him through Team
He's
Backpack.
real dope. You're only 18 or something.
Yeah, young guy, man. And he's just super hungry. He just has a good spirit. He's dope. You know, that I met through Team Backpack. And there's a lot. You know, I know all those guys. So, you know, shout out to all my East Coast people like Denzel Porter and Chris Rivers and all those guys. I mean, they're doing their thing. And then, you know, of course, all the homies back on the West Coast that's been doing it for a while, putting it down on Team Backpack. You know, Catalyst and Avi and Jeff Turner. And, you know what I mean? Like, I met all those guys through Team Backpack, and they're really dope, humble, just, you know, exceptional MCs.
I wanted to ask, what is it about making music that you prefer over battling?
Well, I mean, music is just my love. I mean, you know what I mean? Just from an artistic standpoint, that's what, like, I fell in love with the art. I mean, you know, as a kid, you grow up on music. You know what I mean? Your parents play music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your relatives play music. You know, and battling.
It's universal.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's an art form. It's
Yeah.
like a painting. You know what I'm saying? Where battling is a part of that, but it's kind of like an offshoot of the.
It's a subgenre of the main art.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, it's kind of developed into its own thing, but it comes from music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It comes from the art form of music. So that's what I fell in love with first, was music, and then I figured out that I had this knack for battling. You know what I'm saying? Or freestyling or whatever. You know what I mean? But the ultimate goal to me was always like pulling all of these talents and utilizing and putting it in an art form to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To put it out there in the world, however that may be. And music is like, you know, it's just where my heart
You can connect with people a lot better.
in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I did read that you haven't written down a verse in roughly 16 years.
Yeah, I haven't. I've never written down. I don't write any verses or anything like that. When I first started rapping, my very first raps, you know what I mean? I want to say like first couple years when I started rapping, I would put pen to paper, go in the booth, and you know.
The word is that you didn't like your handwriting.
Yeah, I didn't like my handwriting. Well, because I had my homies that we started rapping with.
Yeah.
And they just had good handwriting. Like, it looked so neat. So to me, I was insecure. I felt like their raps were going to be better than mine, and I just liked because it just looked better.
Yeah.
So I was like, my shit was like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mine's worse than that.
Yeah,
So.
my shit was just like
Straight up.
going all up and down. I was like, yo, this shit looks whack. And I hated standing in the booth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It definitely has.
Yeah.
People always
I hate being in the booth and reading from a paper. It just, to me, it just felt disingenuine. Like, you know what I mean? For me.
It's
like,
too structured almost.
I don't like. Yeah, I like to just have it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like just freestyle. You know what I'm saying? But I
You
do,
know what you're going to
I know
say.
it pretty much. I mean, sometimes I do, but pretty much I like to go in there and just, I like to, whatever comes out is what was supposed to come out. So that's the way I kind of do my rhymes, even if it's like little glitches that might seem like quote unquote mistakes, but I feel like they were supposed to be that way.
That's part of it. Yeah.
That's part of the art.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. It ruins it when you make it too polished, right?
Yeah.
Look
the
at
beauty
classic rock, man. Leave all those. They didn't have that.
Y'all,
No.
To be able to quantize.
And the whole idea of beauty is the imperfection of something.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, that I feel like that's what's natural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the natural shit, and that's what I like to put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable with that.
And before Obi moves on, I feel like he's gonna ask something, but I remembered what I did want to ask you. When you were coming up in the battle days, when you were coming up, though I'm guessing it was still the days of rapping actually over beats.
Yeah.
So what was it like to transition from freestyle rapping, battling over beats, to doing it a cappella, and what do you prefer?
Well, it's just two totally different ways of doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I put it this way? I'm gonna compare it to sports.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like making music, I'm gonna compare it to basketball. Battling is like the dunk contest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could be a great dunker, jump out the gym, but not every dunker is gonna play good in the games.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
One aspect of
it's
the
one
whole
aspect
game.
of the thing.
Yeah.
Marrying it to a beat, making a song, and all these different kind of things. It's a totally different. It's a totally different aspect.
For sure.
So it's different. And then I would say that's like rapping over a beat. Excuse me, like battling over a beat would be like the dunk. Then going a cappella will be one step further, saying you don't even like, you don't have to. It would just, I guess it's more theatrical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could bring props in and stuff like that, or you don't have to. You can you don't have to dribble. You can run the whole time with the ball and jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
you know what I mean? So
But
it's
so
just
do
like
you-
even more, you know.
And do you feel over instrumental then? With that said, is more showcasing of the actual skill that an artist has? Because I feel like if you need to freestyle and keep it structured, I feel like over the instrumental, even if it's harder to listen to the battles, I personally prefer them because I feel like that's where you really are seeing the full showcase of talent because they're keeping it on rhythm, they're keeping it on point, and
It just all depends on what you think, what your perception is. I mean, it all depends. That's all depending on who, you know.
Personal preference.
Personal
Yeah,
preference.
personal
Excuse
preference.
me. Yeah, that's personal preference because the other argument could be when you don't have a beat, you can be more creative because you're not restricted to the tempo of that beat. You know what I mean? So just like I have to, you know what I mean? Then somebody can argue like you say, like, oh, you got to do it. So it just all depends. I personally
do you
think.
have a preference?
I personally think when you're going into the battle world, I think no beat is better because it's different. It's just separate.
Yeah.
It separates it from it's evolved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's evolved out of that because, you know, that's one skill set. But then when you go into another thing, it's like this is another skill set. It's going beyond, and then you can just really concentrate. The whole thing isn't about who has the best. Always people want to be entertained. They want to see you just demolish that other person. You know what I mean? So it's just different. But me personally, after a while, that might get so redundant. People want to like, yo, let's go back to
the beats, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's evolution there.
That's honestly actually what pushed me to there. After watching acapella battles for so many years, I feel like it's almost getting to a point where dudes like, you almost don't even have rhymes at certain points anymore because it's so theatrical.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even
It's
hear.
a different thing,
There's
but
no, I
that
don't
makes
even
it
hear
more
rhymes.
palatable for a certain audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's you know, it's just preference, man. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much worldwide at this point with most of the battle leagues.
Yeah.
You don't find any that are rocking on beats.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no.
At all.
It's like,
I mean, me personally, the first ones that I saw like that were well, people were doing it before without beats. I mean, I did battles without beats just on the street. There's no fucking beat. You know what I mean? You just battle somebody.
Yeah.
But when it like was really put out there and like organized like that, usually like every organized battle was like in a club somewhere where they had a beat.
DJ and yeah.
But then I think Smack, you know, the Smack DVDs, when I saw like Murder Mook and Jay Mills and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? It's when it's like, oh shit, like it was people, it was a full audience. It was like a thing. I was like, okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
And for me, that's when I saw the change. I was like, okay, that's the way that it's going. Because it wasn't on beat. It was like, I'm talking to you. It was like conversational. It was more, you know, theatrical. And, you know, and it's evolved to what it is now.
battle rap nowadays reminds me of a real technical yo mama joke battle.
Yeah, a roasting competition.
There's always I'm way, you know, a lot more lyrical
I mean,
and whatnot.
but that's I mean, to me, honestly, that's kind of why a part of me kind of stepped away. Like me, I just kind of got not bored, but I was just like I was more interested in the creative aspect of music. Like I'm producing now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was more like of a challenge to me. Like okay, whereas battling is like I just felt like I said what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Battling is like
you've battled some of the greatest battlers.
Yeah. I mean,
there
I
as
did
well.
it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I did it. You know. And it was just like, all right, I'm more excited about this is what's getting my creative juices going. Because to me, battling was never as much about the competition as it was about me just creatively. That shit was dope. Like this is a new way to express myself creatively and do battles. I'm not restricted by a beat. I can talk about anything and do this. And you know what I'm saying? And once I did that, I was like, okay, fulfilled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me go do something else. So until that feeling comes back, I probably won't battle.
So without writing any of your verses, did you ever go into a battle and just wing it, straight freestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about the early days, I mean, all of the battles they were freestyle.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know who you were battling.
Yeah.
It evolved. Like battling kind of evolved to being like, when you talk about like, well, at least my era of battling. You know, I don't know about like the 80s or the early 90s or shit like that, but I know, you know, it started off was, you know, it was freestyle. Then people started having lines. And then people start developing routines, and then it goes to a beat where it's like you almost kind of have to have something pre-written because there's no beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so you're just going off the dome with no tempo. I mean you can do it, and I've done it, and people do it, but it just beat. It's better to freestyle if you have a beat because then you can follow a pattern, and then it shows the real. I think that's where the beat thing probably left because people have started premeditating, you know, months in advance who you're gonna battle. So it's just like, you know.
And you can never tell either. Like back in the days when you did have beats, you never know what beat the DJ is gonna play that night.
You don't
so
know
how
who
do
you're gonna battle.
prepare,
You know,
right?
it's a tournament.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So but then people start preparing rhymes, and you know, it's just the evolution of shit, man.
Sure. All right. So you dropped a collab album called Embedded. We're gonna move past the battle, but we're still gonna stay in the past a little bit. A collab album called Embedded in 2011 with Ski Beats.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know, Ski Beats was a producer on Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt.
Outsiders.
How did that connection come about?
That came about, I was in the Bay Area. I had a mutual producer I was working with at the time, had a mutual friend of Ski Beats. I mean, Ski Beats is legendary.
Yep.
And at that time, he kind of had like a resurgence because he was producing shit for like Currency, Wiz Khalifa, Jay Electronica.
Was
you know
he?
what I mean? Yeah, this was like, like 2009, 2010.
Oh shit.
So he was doing all that stuff. I mean, Currency's Pilot Talk 1 and 2 was produced completely by Ski Beats.
For real?
Most,
I never got into Currency, so I had no
Most
idea.
Def, Talib. Ski Beats was producing like all that. During that time, it was just buzzing. I was like, yo, that movement is so dope. I want to be a part of that. So my man had reached out to one of his homies and played him some of my stuff. He's like, yo, he's dope. And then he said he was going to do a beat for me. And then like he never did the beat for me like years ago. And like months went by. So I made like a freestyle, not dissing him at all. Just like, expressing like, yo, Ski Beats said he was going to do said he was making a beat for me, but he never was checking. You know what I mean? Like it's a freestyle like that. And but it wasn't a diss at all. Like Ski is my homie. But it was just, as artists, you just like, yo, I just wanted to get his attention. Like, I was just listening. And he saw that. He was like, yo, he texted me. He this was on Twitter. He inboxed me. He was like, yo, come to New York. I got you. So I just flew out to New York. And we just recorded an album in like 4 days.
Was it planned that you were doing an album?
No, he was just like, yo, come out. He was like, come out here, let's work. He was like, yo, do a song for me, I'll do a beat for you. And that was cool. And then he was just pulling up beats and I was just rhyming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like rapping. And we just like knocked out like 8 songs that weekend. And then I came back like another, like a couple weeks later, came back. And then he took me on tour with him and Murs, and then, just developed a relationship. And then I just started coming to New York, and so I started meeting like all kinds of other people, and started doing the stuff at Shade 4-5, and I just started, making my presence known in New York quite a bit.
Is that about the same time that you linked up with Funk Volume?
Funk Volume, me and the co-owner of the time, Dane, who co-owned Funk Volume with Hopsin. People have been hitting me up like on Facebook, like, yo, you need to work with Hopsin. I didn't even know who Hopsin was. This is back in like 2008. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh shit. So me and Hopsin had kind of like talked through Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Way back then. But then I met him in New York when they had a show out there. And then, through Dame, because me and Dame actually went to college together.
Oh shit.
UC Berkeley in California. And he was like, yo, I'm doing this thing with Funk Volume. I'm managing Hopsin. I was like, oh shit, okay. And I was, I heard of Hopsin, you know what I'm saying? And then he introduced us. We was like, yo, so, we just kind of kept the relationship. Yeah. And then over the years, as their independent grind actually, of course, blew up and grew, and mine is still growing. And we just developed a cool relationship, you know what I mean? And, they asked me to do stuff with them, and they did stuff for me, and you know what I mean. So even though they're split up, I'm still cool with like.
I was just gonna say, what are your thoughts on the current situation going on?
I mean, it's hard. I think that business is business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People have different business interests. Hopsin. I haven't talked to either one of them about why. You know what I mean? Like I don't get in people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm cool with both of them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really get in their business. I don't really know. But as an artist, every artist has the right to do shit the way they want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. Whether it's Hopsin, whether it's myself, you know what I mean? Every businessman has the right to do what they want to do it. And if people, they don't see eye to eye, then they move on. I don't know the logistics behind their business, of course. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is.
Oh yeah. Alright, now just because you mentioned Murs, I recently watched a documentary called Adult Rappers. And they asked a very interesting question that
I think I saw some of that online.
Yeah, he was on there, attorney.
Oh, talking about
Slugs on there.
Talking about being a rapper and earning a living independent.
Adult,
yeah.
So they asked, and I'm curious on a larger scale.
I wanted to see that. I didn't get the chance to see that. I want to see that.
Yeah. Well, they asked, what do you tell people that you do for a living? Do you tell them outright you're a rapper?
I mean, yeah, that's what I do.
Because almost 3/4 of the people on there denied it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. I was shocked by it too. I'm like,
and I think the youngest one there was 37, and then it's like Slug's 45.
Slug denies. How can he deny he's a rapper?
That's what I mean.
Most of them were saying when they talk to like an average person.
Oh, they probably just don't even talk about it.
It's like a music because they don't want to elaborate on it, and people
don't understand.
Sometimes I may not. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. If somebody asks me, I just tell them I'm a musician.
Yeah. But POS was saying if he's dressed like how he was in the interview, then
but it's because hip hop is such a deep-rooted culture, and the people who really are in it, you can't explain that shit to people who don't get it. You know what I mean? Like either
I
you're
think
in
that
it, you
people
get
fucking
it. Like,
know. I mean, hip hop is the biggest musical genre in the world right now. I mean, it's pop music now.
But it's definitely looked at as like a
actually, I think country
youth-oriented,
still sells more records though.
Probably. I mean, but hip hop.
To be honest,
I mean, country sounds like hip hop now.
You
know what I'm saying? I mean, hip hop has the
they
most.
got electronic sounds in there. They got the drum.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit sounds like hip hop to me.
And
so does pop.
I think a lot of people don't say it outright because they think that it's viewed from other people as like an immature genre, which is almost true because there's not people old enough to be. Oh, it's only 50 years old, right? Rock and roll was a youthful game when. Classic rock wasn't around when rock first came out.
Changed.
I just feel people on the outside don't understand rap because it's like they just look at it from the face value, and you see artists like I don't know how to name people, but you know what I mean. It gives off this flashy image, and then when you're a normal person who does actual real hip hop, how do you explain that to somebody who doesn't even understand? You know what I mean?
Well, people, like you said, a comparison to rock and roll, being that hip hop is the younger of the genres. You know what I mean? People don't understand hip hop other than what's the mainstream or what's propagated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they just feel like, oh, that's hip hop. You know what I mean? But they don't understand that. But that's changing.
You don't see too many conscious rappers on the radio, at least in the last 10 years. Now you're starting to see a lot more of it.
Just adult, like you said, adult rappers. You know what I mean? But that's completely changing now because, you have quote unquote mature, you know what I mean, contemporary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is contemporary music now,
yeah.
where it was just like the new young stuff. But now you have guys that are, you know what I mean, grown men with kids, with grandkids that are still making relevant hip hop. You know what I mean? And still doing very well. I mean, Tech Nine is, you know what I'm saying, could be considered an OG in the game, but he's one of the most successful.
OG and one of the most prominent and successful.
And still making he's making his biggest albums and making his most impact.
Biggest moves now.
So it's changing. You know what I mean? It's evolving. It's not what it used to be. The perception isn't exactly what it used to be, and it's changing. People have to change.
And it's almost in a sense too, because hip hop itself has almost become the contemporary, and now trap and this new like wave of all this new just basically lean music in the short terms is kind of what the new is. Like that's kind of what the young boys are doing. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what the new hip hop is to us. Like a lot of old hip hop heads look at that. Like, people looked at us when we listened to hip-hop growing up, like, the fuck is that noise? But now you got people who are hip-hoppers who are looking at the new hip-hop saying the same thing. So it's like, hip-hop itself almost became the contemporary, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly, yeah.
So another one is, which artist did you inspire to be when you started out? Was there one artist specifically?
First, Nas was probably like my first.
Surprisingly, on that documentary, a lot of them said Too Short.
Wow, yeah. I mean, because probably that was their mind, their age.
They like the nastiness.
Yeah.
That was it.
Too Short, he's one of those dudes that's a lot of your favorite rappers' favorite rappers.
For sure, I just wouldn't see it coming there.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it out of most
of
of
those. I grew up
say it was
around
Jay
Too Short. You know what I mean? That's my hometown. Yeah. Too Short definitely, but it had an influence because that was like, Too Short was the shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Growing up in the Bay Area, but to me, it's like when I heard Nas, like I was like, yo. Yeah. I want to try that. You know what I mean? Because I had never heard. I mean, I heard other stuff. Like I loved, like my brothers. They had like EPMD tapes, and I loved like Ice Cube and NWA. And I loved listening to that music. But it wasn't until I heard Nas, Illmatic. It was when I was like, yo, I want to try to do that. Like that's incredible. You know what I mean? Like.
Sure. Anyone that you didn't want to end up like. I have to ask this because they had a unanimous answer on the doc.
I don't know. I don't really think about that. I don't know.
The unanimous answer was Vanilla Ice on the documentary, which wasn't a shock.
Vanilla Ice was when I was a kid. I didn't even consider that like I just considered that just something. Yeah. I kind of liked Ice Baby when it came out, but I didn't consider that.
Yeah, exactly.
I consider that just something different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even put that in the same mind frame as. Like Ice Cube or Nas. Like that wasn't.
That goes in the Skilo category.
Right, we're gonna drop it back to 1,000 Cuts.
Yeah.
And the House of Games. Is there a part 2 to that?
Yeah, House of Games Part 2 is featuring R.A. the Rugged Man. House of Game 1 was just like a freestyle that I did, and then I made it a full song when I got R.A. on it.
Yeah, so how did that connection? R.A. was always one of my favorite lyricists, so how did you end up
You toured with R.A., didn't you?
A couple times, yeah. I met R.A. when I was in New York performing with Ski Beats. And just happened to be doing a show in Manhattan, and RA was in the crowd. He was like, "Yo, Lock, I fuck with your shit." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, thank you." Oh shit, RA. You know what I mean? Like he was just like chilling. You know what I mean? He had like some like chick with him. I was like, "Damn." I noticed the chick first, and I was like, "Yo, who's this dude?" And then he was just showing love. I was like, "Man, thank you so much. Like I respect your shit too." You know what I mean? And then like just fast forward, like when I was working on that album, he had just put out his album before that. You know, Legends Never Die. Yeah. So I just congratulated him like, "Yo, the album is dope." And he's like, "Yo, dude," you know what I mean? We just kind of like started the conversation. Yeah. And he was just like hella cool, you know? And then I had the song, you know, we were talking. He was like, "Yo, if you want to work," I was like, "Man, I'd love to," you know? And then I had that record. I was like, before I put it out, I was like, "Yo, even though this is I think this would be dope for R." I sent to him. He's like, "Yo, this shit is dope. I love this shit." And he sent his verse. And then I made it a full song. I put another verse on it. You know what I mean? I produced the track. Me and my partner, we produced it together, and he loved it. Yeah, and then I was like, "Yeah, thank you so much." And then he was like, "Yo, come to LA. Let's shoot." He was like, "I'm gonna be in LA." I was like, "Yo, let's shoot a video." So I met him in LA, shot the video, and we just got along. You know what I mean? Like we just got along. He was like, "Yo, I'm going on tour. You want to rock?" I was like, "Fuck yeah," you know. So we just did. So and shout out to RA, he's like the first person to like really, he took me to Europe twice.
Oh shit.
How many cell phones did you see him smash on tour?
Yo, he did throw a couple of He grab them and like throw, but people know that. They know if they he grabs it, he's gonna do it, he's gonna like fucking throw it, you know?
I know, because I saw
people are just angry mom with that.
I saw an angry mom.
I was with him on that too. I was with him when that happened.
Say word.
Yeah, that was in Bristol. I want to say that was in Bristol.
I think that's right.
It was in Bristol. And he was just like, "Fuck you."
All you parents out there, don't let your kids fucking take your
like
cell phone.
Like you give him the cell phone. Like he's throwing people's cell phone. They want that.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a good memory, man. It doesn't happen too much.
Exactly.
You ain't going to a Bieber show and getting that shit.
Exactly.
Lofty Goals came out last year.
Yes, sir.
Nothing so far this year?
Nothing.
What do you got in the works?
I just been working on the next album.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there any tentative release date for it?
Nah, not yet.
No.
Just in the studio. Just it's been a busy time because I've been doing a lot of shows. Traveling. Obviously I'm out here, so it's been kind of like juggling, making some time. But the last couple months I've had time where I can just you know what I mean? Yeah. Just like lock in. So it's going really well. I'm excited about it.
So when you approach the studio, is it more like an organic, just let it happen on its own? Because a lot of people, lock themselves in a studio for 2 weeks or something and have 2 weeks to put an album out.
Nah, yeah, definitely not that. I mean, I'm always working.
Yeah.
Like, so even when I finished the last album, I'm like working on concepts, ideas. I'm more involved with production now, producing my own material. So it's just like
How long have you been producing for?
I mean, I've always like had a very hands-on approach to the beats that I use, as far as arranging, and then 1,000 Cuts. I put out a mixtape before that, Green Box, where I had a track that my boy did for me, and then I was like, "Yo, I wanted to do it like this," and then I kind of like stripped it down and had my man play on it. You know what I mean? And then after that, I was like, "Yo, I like this kind of thing." So then the next album, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna try to produce a song myself." You know what I mean? So whether it's just like finding drum loops or sampling or taking it, having somebody play live live guitars, strings or stuff like that. And then I got with my partner, Mike Blankenship, who's my production partner. We'll like sit in the lab and kind of like just craft stuff from scratch. So it's just like it's another just method of creating that fulfills that creative bug. But it takes more time. But I feel like the product is better.
Do you have a preference over original composition to sampling?
I don't have a preference. No, I mean it's just whatever's dope. Whatever I try not to. You know what I mean? Like I try not to just like I can't use samples or I gotta use a sample. I just kind of do whatever. Yeah. So one album might have no samples and then the next album might,
just be all samples.
Be all samples or mix. I don't know, but it's it's all part of it. I love the process of making music.
Yeah,
that's like the funnest part for me.
Do you make like instrumentals exclusively for yourself, or do you sell anything?
I've produced I did some stuff for RA, and I've done like little things here and there, but I don't really make enough. To be like, you know what I mean, like throwing beats out. Like I'm not a beat maker. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I produce my own songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's it's kind of a difference. So it's not like I'm not just like in here, you know what I mean? Like
banging away every day,
a weekend.
I'm just like, yo, I have a concept, I have a sample, or I have a, you know what I mean, this
I
idea.
want to do this with
I need somebody to play these keys, so let's
Yeah.
play these keys. Then I'm going to program these drums. I'm going to get somebody to play live drums.
Which is actually dope because that's kind of what a producer is, and I think a lot of the
It's a
days today,
difference.
a beat maker is
Totally
titled
different.
as a producer, but they're not the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes they are.
Sometimes that,
Sometimes
you're
they are.
completely right. Yeah.
But a producer can never touch a beat, a thing, and they produced it. I mean, you know.
yeah, it's like Quincy Jones. He can't play, at least not that I'm
Rick
aware of,
Rubin.
very many
You know what I'm
instruments.
saying? They're not sitting
but
here.
He did produce the greatest Michael Jackson's album
Yeah, exactly.
of all time.
Like, you know what I mean? They're like, so, you know, it's just yeah. I mean, but I feel like the product is it represents more what I'm trying to do when I do it that way. But also sometimes I like to just sit back and rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you worked with Ski, what was that process like? Was it were you
That
involved?
was
at all?
the process that opened me up.
Yeah.
Because I was with Ski pretty much. I mean, some beats he had like, yo, this beat is like, I was like, yo, give me that. I
Yeah.
love that. You know what I mean? But then I want to say when I came back, like I said, we knocked out like 8 songs in that like first 4 days I was with him.
Oh shit.
Then I came back, and then it was like, all right, we started creating stuff on the spot. And I watched Ski create. I was like, yo, this is dope. He would like have a sample, and he would sample it, and he would program drums, but then he would have like a bass player come in, then he have a guitar player, keys, and he would play it. I was just like, yo, that's fucking dope. And then we were just creating these songs on the
Yeah.
spot. I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to get to that point. You know what I mean? Where I can just have a studio, I can just have people come in and, you know what I mean? Just do all kind of shit. And that kind of opened my mind up to the process. I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
And that's how it actually started.
I think it definitely helps like a project have more connectivity between a producer and an artist if you're doing it together and you're
Doing it
building
like that,
something
yeah.
one step at a time instead of just being like, here's your beat,
I mean, that
your
can
shit,
work
let's
sometimes. I
record
mean,
this shit.
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
dope too, because sometimes I like that feeling too. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to I want to think about that shit. Just send me the beat. Oh, I'm following. You know what I mean? Then I take it in a direction to produce. So that can work too. But it's just all preference. It's just different. You know. But that opened my mind up to it for sure.
Just curious. What is your, aside from anything you've done with them, what is your favorite Ski production? Like I have to say, like yo, the two joints, Don't Look Now and Rah Rah for the Outsiders are probably my 2 favorite Ski joints still. Those go.
Oh, Outsiders, yeah.
Yeah, those joints go.
I kind of like
Like the Reasonable Doubt shit's dope.
Reasonable
and,
Doubt
know,
shit
like,
is
but
dope, man, you can't.
that shit, those Outsider joints.
They're
hard.
Yeah, the streets is talking. The streets is
Streets
watching.
watching.
Come on, dude. That's it. That's my one.
No, yeah.
If I'm wrong, forgive me, whoever did it. Irv Gotti did Can I Live, I believe, right?
Can I Live? No, that's Ski.
No.
No, that's Ski 100. Oh no, you're right.
Ski
You're right. You're right.
Can
You're
I
right.
Live.
You're right. You're right. You're right. No, you are right. You are right.
He didn't do that.
No, you are right on that. No, yeah, you're right. Streets watching the Ski. That just fucked my whole shit up, G. Holy shit.
That's my favorite one.
Yo,
Cause he plays.
that's my favorite one now too. For real.
Can't beat that.
Always thought that was Irv Gotti.
Nah, Irv Gotti did Can I
Can I Live on
Can I Live?
Reasonable Doubt, but
and I think he might have did The Evils or something like that. Or,
that's Preem. But
oh yeah, Prince.
yeah,
okay.
Jigga or
Clark Kent did he did the other one, Politics as Usual. I think.
yeah.
One of them or something. At Brooklyn's Finest.
So if you got nothing else, I got one more question for you. But first, if you want to shout out your social medias and whatnot, so they know where to find you.
Make sure you guys follow me on all social media. You can go to iamlock.com. That's my social media. Everything is on there. But Twitter is DA_Locksmith. Instagram is DA_Locksmith. Facebook is iamlocksmith.
If your musical style could be translated into a Mortal Kombat finishing move, what would it do to your opponent?
I don't even know Mortal Kombat moves, dude. I didn't even play it. I'm not gonna even lie. All I know is
Mortal Kombat's the reason that
that's Street Fighter.
That's Dragon Ball Z or some
No,
shit.
that's Street Fighter. I don't know nothing.
That's not Ryu and
I don't know
Ken
more.
shit.
Every rapper plays Mortal Kombat.
You don't have to. You get to create your own. How would you finish? How would your musical style finish your opponent?
Headlock knee.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then reach around and crack the neck.
If you got second on the road, check out the new Mortal Kombat game and see how graphic this shit is.
They have a new Mortal
They
Kombat?
slicing motherfuckers' heads straight over. You can see the brains drop out.
That's great. I'm not a gamer,
It's
so
some
I don't
intense shit,
I don't know
man.
shit.
Word
Last shit I was playing was Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And I still have an original Nintendo at the crib. Like I can play like
Dope.
Mario,
Yeah.
Super Mario shit, Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Metroid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Super NES is my shit all day, bro. That's
I
my shit all
got the
day.
old shit, man. I couldn't get into the. Only thing I like new is Battlefront Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's the only. That's the only new shit I'll play on like PS. You know what I mean? PS3 or whatever. PS4.
Alright, man, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out with us.
No, it's all love,
Chopping it up.
man. Thanks, man. Had a good time chopping it up.
So, yeah, respect.
For sure.
Respect.
Love, man.
Breaking fucking Records Radio.